Happy New Year, everyone. It's January 1st, 2025, and we're starting off with a bang here as we have a real winter storm to talk about. There's a modeled storm that's within close enough range to actually talk about. It's not in La La Land anymore, so that's what we're going to do today. And this has the opportunity to be a major winter storm that affects millions of people from the central United States all the way over to the eastern United States. And it all starts way above our heads here at the 500 millibar level. We're going to have a bunch of wind this week above our heads, just driving down cold air into the central and eastern United States. And you are going to feel this. There's going to be some quite chilly temperatures, in some places where it's been a little bit warmer than average here, but you're not going to think too much of it until those temperatures are met with a significant amount of precipitation, which is what's going to happen here sooner than later. Around January 3rd here, we're going to see our jet stream just really start cranking here, pointing towards Florida. And this is going to act like a vacuum, sucking the cold air right out of the Arctic and dumping it over Tennessee, Kentucky, and especially in the northern plains. Friday through Sunday, there's a couple areas up here that will see negative 30-degree wind chills in the mornings, so it's going to be cold. Now, that cold air is going to continue to compile and set up over the eastern U.S., and what's going to happen here between Friday and Saturday is there's going to be a little bit of a trough working into the western United States. This is going to bring about some rain and some snow to the west. But once it gets over the Rocky Mountains, it's going to allow for some warm, moist air to kind of fight against the cold air that's been streamlining down for so long. And of course, whenever that happens, we're going to get ourselves a full-on storm system, especially on Sunday, January 5th here. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, from a major snowstorm somewhere up here to a potential ice storm, and also a very real likelihood of a severe weather outbreak. Let's put some colors on here and show you a little bit more of what I'm talking about. Now, this is the GFS ensembles, okay? It's not the deterministic model. It's not as fun to look at because it's a little bit more conservative, because this is a mixture of a bunch of different models put into one, and therefore it's more accurate. You can see that we are going to have a pretty widespread lighter snowfall event here between Thursday and Friday from the Great Lakes down to the Appalachians. That's just kind of a primer, and that's going to be associated with all those really strong winds coming down from Canada in the upper levels that are going to be bringing down the Arctic air. But look at all that snow and rain over there in the Cascades over towards the Intermountain West. That's going to hop over the Rockies. And once again, Saturday evening into Sunday, we're going to see an explosion of precipitation here on the other side of the Rockies, where we're going to see snow in the north, a mixture of rain and snow in the middle, more than likely some rain and some thunderstorms in the south. And the area that I'm most concerned about, honestly, at this point is going to be that mixed precipitation area in the middle. Guys, this has a real potential to end up being a ice storm for somebody. It's too early to talk about specifics there, but this has ice storm written all over it. We've seen a lot of storms like this in the past, and I think that there's going to be a lot of people under the gun for potentially over a half inch of ice by the time this is all said and done, and not a small area either, a very large area. Whoever ends up on the northern side of the ice is going to get a big snowstorm as well. Right now, the ensembles are saying the rain snow line is going to be somewhere north of the Ohio River. But once again, that'll shift up and down a little bit. And something else that I want to draw your attention to is the farther east this thing goes, the weaker it gets. Okay, this doesn't look like it's going to be one of those storms that phases with another system from the Gulf or the Atlantic and turns into a large winter storm on the East Coast. This looks like an Ohio Valley and Great Lakes classic. All right, so it doesn't look like this is going to transfer over to the East Coast as much. Now, the Mid-Atlantic, interior Northeast, the Appalachian Mountain region, there's definitely something there for you, but right now this is definitely going to be blowing up over this region for the most part. Okay, so this is where we have the best chance of seeing some sort of significant winter precipitation, specifically between January 5th and January 6th. If you're in that blue area there, I think that it's a shoe-in, okay? You're either going to get ice or snow. Every day I'm going to be making a video, and as we get closer, I'll be able to nail this down a little bit more for you, but I'm 100% confident that we're going to have some sort of winter precipitation in the blue area. So go ahead and start preparing. This could end up being a snowstorm that brings about 4 inches or more of snow, or like I said earlier, this could be an ice situation that might even cause power outages. So this is something that you might want to go ahead and start preparing for now. Once again, we're talking about the time frame between Sunday, January 5th and Monday, January 6th. The farther away you get from that blue area, we just become a little bit less confident. And the thing is the models are going to change over time, and the heaviest axis of precipitation could end up farther west, farther east, farther south, farther north. It's going to be somewhere in this big green blob, though, with the highest confidence being right there smack dab in the middle. Here's what the big averaging model, the GEFS ensembles, is saying about snowfall totals. Once again, there's a couple of different hot spots here right around St. Louis, points north towards the tri-state area between Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri. There's a somewhat high probability that somewhere in there we'll see over 6 inches of snow. Same thing for you guys over here along the border of Ohio and Indiana. Of course, we do expect some higher totals in the higher elevations, and then there's going to be some residual lake effect and lake enhanced snow to talk about up here in the Great Lakes region as well. But again, anywhere in this larger blue area could end up seeing a significant amount of snow from this storm. We're still 5 days out or so. It's too early to be like, okay, this city's going to get 6 inches, this city's going to get 8 inches. Some people are going to try to do that. Your local weather person might try to do that already. You're going to be mad at them because it is going to change. Now, the European ensemble models have this really cool thing that shows us where we have the highest probability of seeing 6 inches or more of snow. And honestly, this is really high. Around the St. Louis area over here, there's a couple of places that have a 60% probability of seeing more than 6 inches of snow by the time we get to January 7th. And the heaviest axis of snow right now looks to be right in this region from Cincinnati to St. Louis over towards southern Ohio, south central portions of Indiana and Illinois. I think that we're definitely going to be talking about some sort of winter storm in this area. And last but not least, we are concerned about the ice, right? And like I said, this looks like it has the potential to be a widespread, potentially damaging ice storm. It's too early to talk specifics, but the deterministic models are painting a pretty concerning looking scenario here. Any of the darker pink areas that you see here could potentially have more than a half inch of ice on the ground by the time we get to January 7th. That would cause, hundreds of thousands of power outages, travel problems, and just a lot of really unfortunate stuff. This is something that we have to keep an eye on. It'll be easier to forecast the snow, okay? I'm going to be able to tell you exact numbers for snow a lot sooner than I'm going to be able to tell you exact numbers for ice. But if I'm in southern Missouri, if I'm in Kentucky, if I'm in the mountains of Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, I would definitely be concerned about this one and potentially getting ready, gas up the generator, that kind of thing. And of course, on top of all of that, we have a rare day 5 slight risk of severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. So once again, it looks like we're going to have a snowstorm, an ice storm, and a severe weather situation with potential tornadoes all at the same time on that January 5th through January 6th time frame. Similar to the ice situation, it's going to be a couple more days before we can give you specifics on this, but there is going to be a pretty good setup for severe weather here, especially during the evening on Sunday. Once again, I think this is a day where we could even be live talking about snow, ice, and then we've got enough low-level shear here to where I think that this right now looks like a pretty prolific tornado threat from Jackson, Mississippi back through Shreveport. And unfortunately, this does look like it has a nighttime component to it. So we're going to be talking about maybe more nocturnal tornadoes down here, unfortunately. So a very busy weather day, Sunday, January 5th. Just make sure you are prepared, okay? And I'm going to have daily video updates as we go forward, keeping you up to date on the latest. And every day I'm going to be able to become a little bit more specific about the tailored threats for each area. This video right here is more to serve as a heads up. All right, something's coming. We're close enough now to where I'm confident to talk about it and start getting you ready, but we're not close enough yet to pinpoint specific actions that people need to take. That might be tomorrow for the snow, probably be the day after that for the severe weather, and then the day after that for the ice. Once we get to Friday, we're going to have a very detailed forecast for you, but keep checking in as things change each day. And of course, this storm is going to kick off our very cold pattern. Once again, that wind is bringing down the cool air into the southeast. It'll be cold from, Dallas up to Washington, D.C. by tomorrow for most of everybody. Not bone chilling, but cooler than average. And then just as we go forward, the cold's just going to get more significant and intense. So we're going to have widespread cold on January 4th. It's going to be warm in the west, and the slip and slide of cold air from Canada is just going to be open for business, son, and it's not going to go anywhere. This is going to be high quality cold cold air that lasts for a long time. All the way through the middle of January, we are going to have this Arctic cold air mass sticking around on the East Coast, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for snowstorms. This is the best pattern that this area has been in for snow in over a decade. All right, so make sure you are ready for snow if you live on the East Coast. Once again, sorry about my voice. I'm still under the weather, but I don't know if you can tell, but I'm slowly but surely feeling better. So hopefully by the time we actually get to the snowstorm, I'll be back to normal, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn notifications on, as it does look like we're going to have daily updates going forward. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.